Last podcast on the left is all about the facts. So when Southern New Hampshire University came on as a sponsor, it was time to do some research. Turns out they offer more than 200 online degree programs, and get this, criminal justice and psychology are some of the most popular. Classes have no set meeting times, and tuition rates are some of the lowest in the U.S. Want to learn even more about SNHU? Visit snhu.edu/last. Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have trusted Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. Just tell Progressive what you want to pay, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Visit Progressive.com to find a car insurance rate that works for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left.
Side stories.
From your glade. That's when the cannibalism started.
Side stories.
Yes.
Dying.
Oh, dang.
The word of 2020 is dying.
You know what? The word of 2020 is dang. And also, I guess it's going to be coronavirus. Coronavirus making people crazy out here, man. Coronavirus. Apparently that is a Cardi B thing.
Is that right?
I didn't know, man. I didn't know. I'm not up with the young references, and I don't even know if it's a young reference anymore.
I'm not sure. I think Cardi B is actually for the young people who are now feeling older, because the young ones have like a Cardi. See, I have no idea what they're listening to, but something else.
Am I young but feel old, or am I old but feel young?
Well, that's the ultimate question, chicken or the egg. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Side Stories. I am Ben, hanging out with Henry Zabrowski, dealing with the struggles of being middle-aged.
You didn't answer the question.
I don't know the answer.
36. I'm going to be 36 in 2 weeks.
Great.
Is that middle age? Are we middle age? Because what are you? You're 45?
I am 48 years in my heart, 53 in my legs. Mentally, I am still rocking a nice, rebellious 20-year-old spirit. Fuck Bush.
Fuck Bush.
I was actually thinking about this. In college, I had a huge American flag, and I spray painted "fuck Bush" on it and gold spray paint. And I was just like, all right, like I am doing it.
That's all I gotta do, dude.
So I think it evens out to 38, which is my age. And then by comedian standards of my size, the mean is 33 to 44. So I'm right there in the window. That's John Candy and, of course, Chris Farley. John Candy being the elder statesman of the fat
points.
Yes.
There was a really nice little, I want to say it was something, Adoring Uncle Buck or Becoming Uncle Buck, and it was a nice little 25-minute documentary about John Candy and his career. And it's so fun to see him like off camera and stuff. He was such a funny interview, and he was so humble. But you know what he did?
What?
Which was, I see it echoed in my own life, and I hate this part of my own personality. When you got to watch it, he was very big into reading his own reviews, and every single time, they talk about how when Harry Crumb came out. Who's Harry Crumb, I believe it was called?
Who's Harry Crumb? By the way, whatever the reviews say, don't listen to
They're
them.
full of shit.
That movie is gold.
I love that fucking movie. If you have problems with that movie, you can come and report to my complaint office, which is just my fucking dick and balls inside of a boot. All right? And you can go yell at that if you want, if that's what you choose to do. But he was so upset about the negative reviews of Harry Crumb because what he said is that he thought he disappointed everyone and his crew and everybody around him, that he disappointed the directors. And it's like, no, John Candy, you were always perfect. The only thing that wasn't perfect is that you knew you shouldn't have been on a horse.
Yeah.
You knew you weren't supposed to go on a goddamn horse. It's actually very difficult to ride on a horse.
It is. Wagon Zeus, the final film that he ever was a part of, died doing what he hated, which was being on a horse covered in leather. I don't know why they thought it was a good idea.
I don't know why, but he is out of breath in the scenes of the film. They don't even, I can't even cut that out of the mic.
No, you can't cut it out. They should have gone with Corvettes West, where it's just him being fat, driving a Corvette. I don't need to see my fat performers suffer. That's not funny. I want to see them having fun because I'm like, they're not respected enough in society to be allowed to have fun. Only in the movies.
Only in the movies can they have a hot wife. No, that's why you have to make it. You have to make it equal in your own life. That's why if you're ugly, got to be funny or play the guitar. We've said this many times. You got to come up with a gimmick.
Yeah, or in what is it? Popper's case, the guy from Blues Travelers, make the harmonica hot again, which is not easy to do.
It's not, because it's just a sideways cock.
Yeah, and it's just full. Can you imagine being roadie on roadie detail? And if you're a roadie out there and you've experienced this, sidestorieslpotl@gmail.com. What's harmonica duty like? When you've
having
got
to empty out all the white fucking fluid that comes from the back of John Popper's blues glands? It's because you know that those are all full of whatever he was drinking and eating the night before. And
of course.
Oh my
goodness.
Because he sang only with like the most glottal parts of his throat.
Yes, he's still around. Rest him.
That's my John Popper impression.
Well, it's definitely giving me the blues. I love it, and I want to travel away from that sound.
I'm going to kill us both.
All right.
Speaking of a lot of people taking people down with them.
Oh, my.
There was a tragic shooting in Nova Scotia over the weekend that we just want to kind of just cover for a fucking hot second.
Yeah.
Just because it's an awful story, but we were kind of more interested in the windup of the story. Apparently, a man by the name of Gabriel Wortman, I guess the victim count is up to 22.
Yeah, so we have 22 police. This is the largest, I believe, in Canadian history.
Yes.
22 people. It wasn't all in one spot. He drove to different locations. And
16 different crime locations.
Yes. And our heart goes out to everyone in Nova Scotia and going through this, because unlike Americans who are a little bit, I'm just going to say slightly more scabbed when it comes to mass shootings, I know this is a bit more of an open wound for you all, and so our heart goes out to you. But as Henry said, the thing that is most interesting, and Henry's going to go into detail here, is this person's mental lead up, and I guess we can maybe learn something from it.
I mean, you just learn that, you can't just be a cop by wearing a hat and getting a badge.
But
you also sort of can. I feel like that what's really sad is that this was a small community called Porta Peak, which is about 60 miles north. It's about 100 kilometers for you people that don't respect the fucking American measurements.
You know, we're technically wrong, right? The imperial system is technically much dumber.
It's dumb.
Okay,
it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it was north of Halifax, the people were already hidden in their homes, right? They are under a stay-at-home order.
Right.
They're supposed to be home. So apparently this guy, he'd spent the last couple of years, and I guess it's since high school, he was obsessed with the Royal Mounted Police. Is that he wanted to be a Mountie. And he had said this early on, and I guess it never happened, because now he ran a dentures company. Like his job was he built dentures for people. I want to say it was called Denturas.
Damn, Ace Ventura's the only place to go get your dentures done and pet a peacock.
Very scary, apparently.
Damn.
But he, I guess over the last couple of years, he had gotten a hold of he had an RCMP uniform, and then he drove around in a decommissioned cop car that was part of the reason why they think he got people to open their homes, because he was shooting people inside of their homes. His first victims were his ex-wife and her new boyfriend, which makes a lot of sense. But the thing that doesn't have
in the sense that a lot of these shootings are very personal.
Do that,
and obviously, yeah.
But he would set fires to the homes as he went. He did this for many hours. It was 14 hours. It started at 10 p.m. Saturday. They don't think that it didn't have anything not to do with the 420 holiday being controversial and having a bad dark history. So it seems that he might have been motivated by that. They also
so he's like a Hitler birth. This is him celebrating the birth of Adolf Hitler. Is that what they're saying?
He's doing something. I don't know, but it's more about something that's connected to whatever this holiday makes people connected to. But apparently he wasn't. They closed his business down for a month. They don't know if it's financial. He did not leave any sort of note.
Okay.
We don't. They're not saying that he left any sort of note. So we'll find out probably as this investigation furthers.
Yeah.
But he killed a Mountie right after killing his ex-wife and her boyfriend. Damn. And then he just drove around randomly shooting at people and entering people's homes dressed as a police officer, so they trusted him, and he started laying waste to people. But then when they finally caught him, they caught him at a gas station. He died in a full-on shootout where he went down swinging in a bad way. So, but we don't really know anything else about the psychology. The reason why it interested me was the prep, and it reminded me of Marvin Heemeyer with his Killdozer rampage.
And this is still an ongoing investigation. I'm just getting word from my personal news assistant over the wire. We are now up to 23 victims. So that just came in. We still don't. Who knows? This could go higher. And again, that is devastating. But yes, what is it, Henry? There might be no more dangerous person than the person who wanted to go into the military but couldn't because they were either too not mentally capable, too out of shape, or a person who wanted to be a cop but was rejected. I don't know if there is a more dangerous...
Just give him a plastic gun and run around. This is where I think virtual reality games could save us.
Yeah.
Where if we go and we can like plug him into a system where then look, you're a cop.
Right.
Here's all your paperwork, because I don't think you understand just how boring it is to be a cop.
Right.
Most of your life is spent sitting, paperwork, and you know what I mean, having a couple of beers at the station, zipping around, fucking checking some hot girls' taillights, driving around, getting free pizza. Like that's what mostly would be a cop
for checking out hot girls' taillights. At some point, then the alcoholism really kicks in. You end up dying of cirrhosis of the liver. Yeah,
those first 6 months are a blast. It's just you and Steve Gutenberg is there, and he's not a cop either, but he still has his uniform from the Police Academy films.
Great.
So he's fucking hanging out. Being a cop, yes, so I might have actually painted it a little bit rosier than it is, but being a cop is vaguely very boring. And so they have an obsession. We see this. John Wayne Gacy was obsessed with being cop. His alter was that cop/detective personality when he used to drive around with the big old school black car with the side spotlight, so people thought he would be a cop when he'd show up, and that's how he'd shake down the sex workers to get into his car, and the next thing you know, he's fucking.
Isn't that
the magic trick? Is you?
Isn't that amazing how a single bright light, Zodiac Killer did the same thing. I believe, didn't Bundy at some point pose as like a cop or something that?
I want to say that he did, but also the security agency stuff, BTK.
Yeah.
A Son of Sam wanted to be a cop. He couldn't pull it off. He didn't have the temperament.
No, he did not. So this is according to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police Chief. Say that in one sentence. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police Chief Superintendent, his name is Chris Leather. When it comes to the victims, he says, we still believe there may be victims still within the remains of those homes which burnt to the ground. So that's why we don't know the exact number. I didn't,
no, because we don't know, because he set fire to a bunch of houses and people were just stuck inside of their houses. But again, bringing it up because of Marvin Heemeyer, check out the documentary Tread. Because they do one of the first, this came out last year, and I didn't get a lot of buzz, but it really goes into the life of Marvin Heemeyer and the building of the Killdozer. And one of the things that shocked me the most about Tread that I'll say is that he said that, when all of his weird municipal bullshit, the one thing that really shows is just how much the things that Marvin Heemeyer was upset about, were bullshit, and they gave him what he wanted 3 times. They tried to buy him out. They were going to buy him. They were going to buy out his little area, the little thing that they were because he was upset about the concrete factory being built next to him, right? That they were making all this concrete. He was getting concrete dust, whatever. Sure.
To be fair, I mean, I understand no one wants to have a home and then all of a sudden you're like, what you guys doing out there? Building a concrete factory.
All day. But But they were going to buy him out for $300,000. I think 375 grand. That was that they were he finally kept, because they would come and say, okay, we'll buy you out. And he's like, that's not enough. And he's like, and then he'd go in and how about this? And they're like, sure, we'll give you this amount. And he's like, that's not enough. And so he raised it up to 375 grand. And they're like, here you fucking go. And so that wasn't enough for him.
Right.
He got the idea for the Killdozer. He said, sitting in his hot tub with a beer. He went one night and just went I tell you what I gotta do is I gotta even the playing field. That's his whole thing, is that he kept saying, he's just like, there's a lot of people wondering about the playing field, and I'm going to even the playing field. Like he had these long tapes that he would record of explaining everything that what happened to him, quote unquote, what happened to him, and his reaction to everything. And it's like, oh, you think that we're going to be? It's like, these guys think we're going to be on the same playing field, but they're showing up to play football, and guess what? I'm showing up to play tennis.
Good Lord. Why didn't he should have just get another beer and just go back to the hot tub, realize it's not that bad, everything's going to be all right, instead of making yourself a Twisted Metal character, which is literally what he did. The Killdozer, if you haven't seen pictures of it, we've talked about it, I'm sure you have, but he could not have gotten out of that if he wanted to.
No, well, he was supposed to die in it.
He was supposed to die in it. But going back briefly to what happened in Nova Scotia, evidently, this dude, he drove around for 14 hours and he knocked on residents' doors. He pulled over other victims, and the cops say they must have trusted him because, of course, we're under the quarantine. So that's why there's some speculation that maybe he knew these people. Otherwise, they're saying they were just so enamored by the outfit that they just let him in. And this is like the hard thing for me. At what point do I just get on LA local news in a police chase, and in my head I'm like, he's not a cop. None of them are cops. None of them are cops. And then it's just
that's how you know they know you're insane. You know what I mean? Like, that's how they know that you've completely gone insane. You're like, I don't even believe they're cops. Meanwhile, you're like surrounded by police officers and fucking helicopters and shit. You're like, I'm gonna need some identification.
But this goes against the very public trust we were supposed to hold true. And
well,
this
that's
is
what's
why
really
this stuff
scary.
is so scary, yeah.
But part of it is how the power of the uniform and what it does to people.
It really does.
It does really affect people. You can go and they automatically trust you. I think that's also the inherent reason why the constant weird, rampant police brutality that has happened throughout our country over the last couple of years is also extremely just damaging to the idea of police as a whole, because we're supposed to trust them. We're supposed to reach out to them.
Right.
Now we're afraid of them. What the hell are we going to do then? Because then we're literally just stationed with an occupying army that's got all the guns and they got all the hats and the badges.
Still 1,000 people die every year at the hands of a police officer. About 100
But I
suicide
love
by cop.
But I also know so many of our listeners. We have cop listeners. I know that it's a very difficult job to do. But I think that my main takeaway from this is don't lend a guy your cop uniform no matter what he promises to do to your wife.
Obviously, this man, whatever cuck fascination you have, cop fucks wife. Cop fucks cuck's wife.
We're speaking with Brian Whitney, an author of a book on Luke Magnotta, for a Patreon interview last week.
Yep.
And he was also roommates with the Cannibal Cop.
This is one of the rare times. What do you got to give? $1 to get the interviews, or is it $5?
I think it's $5.
If you want to just do a one-time payment of $5 a month, this interview with Brian Whitney is so interesting because he will call Gil, which is the name of the Cannibal Cop, which is like really weird.
It's fun to just be. It's your buddy.
It's your buddy. It's my buddy Gil.
He's eating your cereal. You have to go and be like, Gil, did you eat my cereal again? He's like, yeah, but it wasn't my wife. And you're like, I know, you keep saying that, like, this is going to make me less angry about the cereal.
Right. Well, it definitely does put things in perspective, doesn't it? Which I think that's why Gil always has that trump card where he's like, didn't eat your wife. Did I?
And you're like, I know, but that can't be the only standard I hold you to.
And that interview on Patreon comes out this week with Brian Whitney, so give that a bit of a listen.
And another bit of a spoiler, he's still horny for eating people.
Yes, he is. We talk about that story. Again, he wrote the book on Elliot Rogers, Luca Magnotta, and is friends with the Cannibal Cop, which he just keeps that to himself.
And he's been playing a lot of squash with OJ.
Yes.
Which is so nice. That is satire. I don't know if he has an ongoing relationship with OJ, but OJ, he's fucking also calling out Carol Baskin recently, trying to stay relevant. So.
Speaking of people that are famous for all the wrong reasons, Kay Letourneau is back on dating sites.
Yeah, she is.
So if you're lonely in this quarantine, I think I got the teacher for you. She is interested in, quote, finding someone who is more age appropriate. Of course, she was convicted and spent 7 years in prison for raping a 12-year-old. So this is one way of saying, oh, I'm looking for someone more age appropriate. It's like, yeah, because that other than 12 years old, unless you are 11 to 13 years old, you cannot date a 12-year-old.
I wonder if do you think she just gets sick of that 12-year-old dick?
I don't.
But what do? Do you get bored over? Because now everyone, this is the double standard, right? Because we can have this conversation.
Oh my God, you're going to do that? You're going to do that? Okay.
Yeah, but you get bored a 12-year-old cock, or do you raise it to be so like fucking pleasant to you that like you gotta like what do? How do you train a 30 or 8-year-old man to properly pleasure you?
They're not flowers, man. You can't just be like, go to the sun. You can't form the penis inside of your vagina to make it a perfect penis. That's not the way it works.
But I feel like the penis could almost grow.
Anyway, months after the legal separation, it's only been months since Kay Letourneau and Vili Fula, the former teacher, of course, that she was in prison for raping. I mean, that's what it was.
That is the term. Yeah.
They after you all know this. After she got out, they married, and then I think at some point she
made it legit
kids together.
Yeah, she did the Woody Allen, where if you just marry your victim of pedophilia. For some reason, we're all just fucking super chill with it because, you didn't want to be in that fucking prison for your life.
Hey, and
it's one or the other, right?
If you want to check out Woody Allen, you can look at him on the New York Times bestseller list below us. There you go. Just where
Sung-Yi is below him.
Oh, my goodness.
Having fun. I don't know if they're having a lot of sex.
I don't, honestly. I don't know. We have a friend. I won't say his name, but he is a big-time mover. He moves. That's like if you're in New York, you're either a mover or a comedian or you're both.
You're both.
He moved Woody Allen, which I don't understand how they let this man in.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
How was it?
He said that Sun-Yi was very mean, and she stood there and she watched him do everything, and he said it was just a very strange sensation to be in that home, and I don't know if there's a lot of joy there.
I don't think so. No, absolutely not. I don't think things are getting easier over there as well.
No, I really don't. But this is according to, back to Kay Letourneau, according to a source, which I'm assuming is just her friend Pam. I don't know what everyone's like a top secret source. No one's smoking a cigarette in the shadows talking about this. No one's like going to a dark alley to get more information on Kay Letourneau's sex life.
Yeah, I think she is the deep throat. Or not so deep throat because it was a 12-year-old boy.
You said it there.
See?
So this is according to a source. She's on at least one dating site that I know of. And they go on to say, but she's also been on the apps. She's just casually looking around to see if there's anyone. She's not someone who does well by herself.
She's still very attractive.
She is now, she looks fine. She's 58 years old now.
Let me look at her picture. What? She looks pretty good.
She does. I mean, he's
a man now. He's a man now, baby.
Yeah.
So it's fine now. It's all done now because he's a man now, baby.
The source continued saying she's been talking to a few guys and she's interested in someone who is age appropriate. She knows that her best shot at happiness is to find someone who is closer to her age. I'm just happy she's not going after 12-year-olds. At 58, she can go after anyone over 18 and they will almost seem 12 because that's how old she's become now, which is fine. I mean, people age.
Do you think this will be flipped into an idea of people saying that you can grow out of pedophilia or you could grow out of being, because my thing is, I know we're supposed to say here that I guess that what this meant is that she, I guess she is a pedophile still.
She is. Right? Yeah. Always one.
But do you think that this is a smoke screen? And she's saying older in order to meet whoever older's like kids, and then she'll start fucking the kids?
If I had teenagers around the house, I wouldn't allow her to come over because I've seen what Pornhub is doing, and I don't want these kids to be inspired.
It's training them to make even more love to their teachers than before.
Well, if you really
and their
want,
mommies.
If you really want a fun episode of Abel Lincoln's Top Hat, I interview someone who's a sex therapist for non-offending pedophiles. So you do it's
so much fun. But non-offending pedophiles.
But it is a real thing, and obviously she offended, so she doesn't have much sympathy on that front. But
non-offending pedophile sounds like me staring at my weed pile and being like, I'm not smoking right now. But I have all of this weed just waiting for me, and I know I'm gonna smoke it, but sometimes I have to wait till Natalie leaves or goes to work out.
It's so kind of like that, I suppose.
You have to wait till people leave, till all searing eye. If NAMBLA won, which is getting closer every day.
Yeah, it seems like it, right?
It's getting closer and closer every day to being successful. If NAMBLA won, the idea of normalizing just them hanging out and just being able to go on a date with the 10-year-old boy, I don't know if that's that. I mean, because even if it's a no touchy date,
you can't go on dates with children.
Y'all singles know. As soon as they say it's a date, it becomes a whole different thing. So if you take a child out, and it's if you're going out for ice cream and stuff, and if your uncle, and if you're just the kid's uncle, that's a nice day, and that's normal. But if you start saying, pick you up at 8, I'm the one wearing the red rose.
Well, if you're in a custody dispute, you do have to let the child know when you're going to be there, and hopefully you're on time so they can build trust.
Yeah, but if you're taken to a place with checkered tablecloth and candles, that's a date.
That's just a Chuck E. Cheese.
It depends on what city you're in.
That's very true. So the insider for Mary Kay Letourneau goes on to say she's had a lot of time to reflect on the mistakes she's made. Choices that led to problems.
She fully unmarried the man. She married the mistake.
But he divorced her ass. So the insider continues, she's at the age where she thinks about her past and wonders what her future will look like. It's very uncertain. So Mary Kay Letourneau, she's back on the prowl. She's 58 years old. Fulua, her now ex-husband, former victim, is 36. And apparently they split. And again, this is according to the source, and this kind of makes me want to gag. But according to the source, Fulua and Letourneau split because, quote, the intimacy was gone.
She's just going to find another boy. She's going to say more age appropriate, and it's going to be like a 21-year-old. Which, again,
That's fine.
If it's legal,
21,
it's legal.
Yes. I mean, hey, the whole thing, it's really just about 18 and over. I don't judge anyone who does anything with people who are 18 and over. The source goes on to say, for years, there was hope it would work about the relationship. Again, I can see where the pitfalls might be.
Yeah.
And, quote, there was hope until the time where it was clear that the hope had faded away. I'm not surprised they got married. This is according to Letourneau's lawyer and friend, David Gerke. And he said, I'm not surprised in this day and age. Oh, my God, this is hilarious. So he says, I'm not surprised they got married. And then he also goes on to say, and I'm not surprised in this day and age that they are separating.
You really think that this is what this is? That this is a 2020 thing? That it's just because marriages are hard? No, she fucking raped and groomed a boy that somehow, now he's just released. But I hope that she can raise and groom a man.
Absolutely. You know, men are in.
You need
living alone right now, and
could use some of her. You could use some of that loving touch.
If you're a 58-year-old woman and you're looking to take care of a grown man boy, please come on over. I got toilets to clean. I don't even understand how much there's so much poop in my toilet. It's just me.
He'll eat it. He'll fuck it. He can't make dinner.
No,
but he will be there. He'll listen to you talk about that crazy girl at work. Kissel is a very good sounding board for a 58-year-old woman.
Can you imagine Mary Kay Letourneau coming home and talking about the crazy person at work and just cut to the so-called crazy person at work just being like, yeah, so that child rapist is now at my office. She thinks I'm weird because I have a bunch of tchotchkes
but it's supposed
because I
to
love
be normal.
Aaron Judge. I think he's just going to be Rookie of the Year, and I think the Yankees have a chance this year. She thinks I'm crazy.
She feels that she's one of those. She can't be a pedophile because she's a hot woman.
Oh, disgusting. All right, well, let's go on.
And we're not letting these hot chicks get away with it.
Absolutely not. No one gets away with it.
Hot chicks can still be villains.
Absolutely.
They often are.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one website platform that helps you stand out online. Yes, that's right. You don't have to smash your face with a hammer. You can just start a business. It's got everything you need on Squarespace, from securing your domain to building a professional site and showcasing your work all in one place. Let's say you want to show everybody how you can carve your ribs out of your lower abdomen so that you look more like a Ken doll. That's amazing. You can bring your vision to life with AI-powered design or curated templates, plus flexible editing tools that helps you create something that truly reflects your style, especially if you are somebody that is trying to corrupt the young men of America. That's what Squarespace is really going to help you. Squarespace makes it easy. It makes it easy for you to put all that together, and you just go to Squarespace and do it all. Thanks, Braden. Head to squarespace.com/left for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code LEFT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. This is a paid ad by BetterHelp. You know, stigma shows up in a lot of different places. I know I had to explain to my handyman about the devil imagery in my home. I had to explain that in our home, El Diablo es bueno. And he reluctantly agreed. I think largely just because he was in my home and he was scared. But over time, he began to see, the devil can be my amigo. See, even in 2026, stigma can get in the way of a lot of things, right? My handyman almost didn't put up my floating media cabinet, right? You got to get support for your mental health. Maybe you've encouraged friends to consider therapy while avoiding taking the first step yourself because you're busy, worried what others will think, or telling yourself you should handle it alone. No, you need a team. Get therapy with BetterHelp, the world's largest online therapy platform. Give me a space to slow down and talk through what's building before it feels unmanageable. So let's take a short questionnaire to identify your needs and preferences, and BetterHelp will handle the initial therapist matching work for you. Their industry-leading match rate means BetterHelp typically gets it right the first time. Feel confident knowing BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of ethics and are fully qualified. So don't let hesitation hold you back. Find support with BetterHelp. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/lastpod. That's betterhelp.com/lastpod.
Hey there, everybody. Is your cell phone bill too much money? Are you getting that bill and you're like, hey, what is this? I can't believe for what? For 5G? Are you crazy right now? $100? I don't even barely got any bars when I'm just sitting in my living room, okay? You don't have to deal with that anymore. Are you ready for this? $15 a month. That's right, $15 a month on Mint Mobile. Yeah, baby. Get their wireless plan, because they're just sitting there on the T-Mobile 5G network, and it's just $15. Your whole life, you're just paying all this money every month. You're like, why? Where's it going? It's going to these phone companies that are robbing you. So go to Mint Mobile. Let them help you talk to your mom. So get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month. Go to mintmobile.com/LPOTL. That's mintmobile.com/LPOTL. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/LPOTL. That's it. There's no catch. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, $180 for 12 months. Plan required, $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when the network is busy. Includes up to 20 gigabytes hotspot. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com.
This story I want to talk about.
This story is
now this
nuts.
came It's an older story that got re-bumped up a couple of days ago on Reddit, but I have to talk about it because I find it absolutely fascinating. The story first broke in October of 2019. This is from the Honolulu News.
Ooh.
This takes place in beautiful, beautiful Hawaii.
That's great.
Here we go. This is Honolulu. This is from the article, the first article, and we'll start from here.
I just feel like the Honolulu News. You open up, and every page 3, there's just either a fake penis or a fake set of boobs that you can just grab, and then you move on. And every paper has it.
I love that. No, another day in coconut news. I don't know why I made it Jamaican.
I don't know.
He violated our home, says family that came home to find stranger living there. Oh. James and Brittany Campbell said that they had been gone for a week to visit family on the mainland, and when they returned, they got the surprise of their lives. Got to the front door, and when I got there was a stranger at the door, said James Campbell. I yelled at him to get out of the house. Get out of the house.
Yeah.
James said he was able to convince the man to come out and watched him before police arrived on the scene. Now, this, first of all, how scary is this?
Horrifying.
You come home, somebody's house. He was wearing all of his clothes, right? This man was saying he was wearing James Campbell's clothes inside his house. He asked him to leave. Cops came, picked him up. So they're like, okay, let's see what's going on here. And it wasn't until he got inside of the home that they saw what was truly going on. He had been living there for up to a week.
Okay.
He had built what seemed to be some sort of shrine of things from their own home that were in a pile, all covered with piss. The house was ransacked.
Well,
things were piled and stuff.
Henry, just to stick on that for a second, you know about shrines. We've spoken with people that create shrines, the power of shrines. We all believe in the power of those things. What would a piss pile of clothes be? What is that? Is there a certain? Is there a saint? Is there any kind of ghost or entity that is the piss pile of pants entity?
It lets other witches know that that's your piss pile. Because they come and they smell it. And they'll leave a little trace, too, just to say hello to you as well.
Okay.
But, so that's not just, okay. He came in a house, then he saw something was weird with their fucking Xbox. He looked up a bunch of he looked up a lot of alternative lifestyle pornography, transgender porn all over their Xbox, right? The kids are there. Doesn't matter. But it basically, he then left a series of writings on an old laptop that they left inside the home. Now, this has all been revealed since they posted all of this on Reddit at the R True Crime subreddit. Now, it was the guy's wife was the Honeybee Royale. They came in.
This is straight from the source. The couple that was the victims actually talked about this. Okay.
They found a series of notes, and this is the reason why they are now trying to get this bumped up in the eyes of the news, because when he was arrested, he was immediately let go on this bail relief program that they have in Honolulu, where he was arrested. He was immediately left, but he doesn't have an address in Honolulu. The man that broke into their home was a man by the name of Ezekiel Zayas, who actually comes from Bridgeport, Connecticut. According to some Redditor sleuthers, found out that he actually was coming to Honolulu to speak to some quote-unquote doctor, according to Zayas' mother. They don't know how he got there. So he traveled across the Pacific to get to Honolulu.
Okay.
And according to these writings that they found inside of their home, apparently, he had been watching this family for a long time, and he knew some of the people's names inside the home, or named them. He knew that there was a wife, 2 younger boys, and he wrote in these writings a series of, I'm going to say convoluted, ramblings about how he was going to abduct, drug, and surgically alter the family, because right now they were a lower life form called an omnivore, and he was going to raise them up to a spiritual creature named an Ezekiel.
Well, they got the frickin' house that he's broken into. How are they a lower species? He's the one breaking into their home.
He is asserting his dominance as a higher level being. They found video of him shaving half of his head and face, which is very similar to the Bjork assassin, the potential Bjork assassin. I forgot his name, but that was another fucking rabbit hole to go down.
Maybe
but he used the wife's makeup to cover himself in sort of like tribal drawings.
Okay.
And started yelling at the screen. Which, again, I've been there. Got me in coronavirus.
Oh my God. Of course. We're screaming into the windows all day long. But is there, and again, if you're a psychologist out there, because I don't think Henry and I can answer this question, but when it comes to shaving the head, Lee, you were talking about Bjork. I'm also thinking of Britney, and I support Britney. I support her breakdown. Leave Britney alone. I've said that since day one. She shaves her head. What is it, do you think, when it comes to just the action of shaving one's head? Is that like a transformation for them? Is that when they can go fully on into fantasy because now they've like, it's just interesting. Hair has been talked about very often, even like the Bible. What is it, Samson or whatever?
Samson, very good, Kissel, very good.
It's ingrained in my the sexual fetishizing of Samson by all evangelical women can never be understood
because the strength in his beautiful hair.
They love him,
but and I feel it every day. I feel my strength waning. But I believe it's got a lot to do with the cleansing process and the idea that you are becoming like, it's why monks shave their heads. It's like an acolyte process where you become sort of, the idea is that if a group of people will shave their heads, they all sort of look the same.
Right.
And you kind of, or you're lessening your identity to become more of a vessel for other energies quite a bit, or it's the kind of the hero's journey where you're prepping yourself before some transformative experience. But I want to read some of his writing. So she posted, Honeybee Royale posted some of the writings that he did on this computer. And I want to read some of this because I love getting to the sort of like the backdoor brains of some of these more maladjusted people. So this is the first thing you open up. So this is happening in your home.
Okay.
You then open up your family computer, and this is on a Word document. First thing.
Okay, so let's just, again, you walk home, you got your kids in tow, you
just got him out of the house.
Go to the couch, I can't wait to turn on my Xbox.
The kids are in a hotel. They put the kids in a hotel immediately.
Oh, okay.
And so now you're home. The house is covered in piss and shit. Right, it's been ransacked. He's covered the everything in fucking, and then you don't know yet with the extent of everything. You open your computer and you see this document. Most know the story of the Antichrist. They've seen movies and heard stories about how he'd be this evil man that will control everyone and possibly label them to, I don't know, maybe go to hell and never return to Earth. But what if that story was all bullshit? What if he was just a kid? What if he was just a soul chosen to open the world's eyes to things that they weren't able to see themselves? The faults in government, the signs of medical malpractice, the good and the evil in music and technology, and possibly even the truth about the gods that we served for so many years.
Yeah.
The men chosen before me were relentless, choosing to remain in one field of study and trying to do things that would please man instead of everyone. But everyone, I mean animals, humans, omnivores, aliens, spirits. Now, of course, you can't please everyone, but there are ways to show that just we're on each other's team. Yesterday, I realized that everything here is spiritual warfare. I should have known this already, but yeah, it came to me yesterday. When the party was over and everyone departed, I left the TV on and began to play music. Most of you already know that. Most already know that. Which you put like one of those funny crying places. Yeah, one of those funny emojis.
What are you thinking on music? I could see this going comically strange in the Smash Mouth direction, where he just truly thinks it's good.
Watching you, watching me.
What?
He also is a amateur hip hopper.
Oh, okay.
According to his Instagram. So he was a musician. That's a part of the reason why they think that maybe he even found them, is that apparently the husband of this story, the father of the two kids, who is not the girlfriend of the wife of the father is not the mother of the two kids, but he was a fairly recognizable musician. He was a touring musician. They think that he might have been attracted to them because of that, when they're not really certain why, right? But when I left it on, I noticed the artist. I recognized that they were just sad, and they were stuck in the TV, almost waiting for things to get better. He was watching television. He was watching music videos, and he said that they were stuck inside the television.
They were stuck in the TV. Huh.
This lesson literally goes for itself as well, because right now I'm just a kid in a huge house with everything I need to become a great man. And sometimes I take it for granted. But I am trying. I am trying to work hard for the things I need. And even more, I want to enjoy my time doing it. All my life I've been in training. It's weird because I used to think I was living a normal life. My eyes fooled me, but nothing is ever as it seems. So keep going. Now the training that I am in at the moment is probably my favorite of all. The middle ground, where things aren't really fully finished, but almost on the other side.
That is the worst part of everything.
So
Being
scary.
in the middle is the worst.
That's so scary, but that's what he's saying here. I say, I'm praying I'm going to have to keep this place forever. I pray that I can build a foundation here. My family will be great. My career will flourish, and the world will see blessed things. I just have to know when to keep my big mouth shut sometimes and enjoy my life. And don't we, Kissel, have to be more appreciative of our stations.
Of course, sure.
But what he basically then does is that he starts to describe the family with the things that he needs to fix on them surgically. Because this is the training ground that he's in order to make this new family, this family that he has been, because he had taken out all the family pictures and he had lined them all up. So he had big plans for this family, and he diagnosed them just from the pictures. So mother's current diagnosis was she omnivore, age unknown, her gender is male, height 6'2", weight 400 pounds, normal woman, completely normal size. None of this is true.
Yeah, of
hair
course.
color black, white woman. Hair type fur. Skin discolored, dry, and itchy. Just saying, this is a very insulting thing to say about a woman.
Sure.
Just from looking at a picture of her. Fingers 4 to 3 inches long. She had stubby arms, 12 inches long, with pink chicken-like hands. That all has to be fixed. 3-foot-long legs. Her health issues that he found out in this, he said, just from looking at the picture, complaints of boils and skin agitation on her penis, toe fungus, itchy anus, and a lot of what he said here is that he's going to I'll do quite a bit of surgery on her anus. If you look at some of this footage here, and he said a lot of the hard work that he's going to have to do, because with this family, his work was really cut out for him.
Okay. So...
Because he said the main problem that the wife had is that he diagnosed her with Down syndrome just from a picture.
But she doesn't have Down syndrome.
Absolutely not normal. I'm going to say just a hashtag normal looking woman. Just you couldn't tell from I guess she didn't have a visible, right? But he said the main thing is that he's really going to have to figure out how to do anything about that. But Down syndrome for him, according to him, now this is probably just going to be the hardest for me because all I know about Down syndrome is that there is an extra chromosome. And it's apparently in there. So it affects speech, it affects eye movement, it affects facial movements. So in order for me to remove a chromosome, I'm really going to need to have to take samples of blood and poop or even cum from the wife to even figure out how to get her stop being Down syndrome. And she says, according to his writing here, I need more time with this. I need to treat Macy, which he was calling the wife Macy throughout this whole thing, more like a pet. I need to get her to realize everything's okay. Yes, she's going to be the first subject that we've seen what I can do with. And of course, they might not exactly be created yet. She will be my best one of all. Now,
that's a little, I'm going to say this is crazy.
Yeah, but now the main thing is this guy was immediately released.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I wanted to talk about. Also, if he went back to the 1300s, he would just be the number one doctor in town.
He's literally just
the fact that he would mention a chromosome, they would be like, oh, well, he is onto something.
Mm-hmm. But he was released, right?
Yes.
So they were first kind of afraid that we don't always. So they started 2 weeks ago. They received a call from a woman. So apparently during the time period that this guy was alone in this house living there, police were called to the home without the owners there. And Ezekiel Zayas got into some form of domestic dispute with, they believe, his girlfriend or somebody that he brought to that house. So he wasn't even alone in that house over the week. He brought somebody over to the house.
He had a girlfriend with him?
Yeah, a girlfriend. Something. They got into a physical argument, but I guess the cops just let it go.
It was over the piss pile. They got into a fight over the piss pile. They didn't own the home, and the cops just said,
Ezekiel, how much piss did you put on this?
I just
did what I did, I drank a bunch of water. I had 2 or 3 BLs. Yeah, so I did it. Being like, you are so fucking lazy. I need more piss on this shit.
Do not make BL complicit in this, by the way.
I need to see more piss on this. But he went and they went and so police came and so 2 weeks ago, the family gets a call from an unknown woman that they said was screaming, "Where are your kids? I need to speak to the kids." She's like, "What are you talking about? We don't know you." She's like, "I need to speak to the boys," and acted as if it was normal, like it was the aunt that was calling them. So, and
like, Mary Kay Letourneau, is that you calling my house again?
I just want to see, I'm just trying to see if, just new blood. I need new blood. But they, apparently, the couple is holding back some information because they're waiting for the police to get truly involved. And they believe that they might be targeted by literally a group of people that might be kind of aligned with whatever Ezekiel Zayas believes.
Well, I think the cops probably have some splaining to do because they bungled this case. So it was September 22nd, 2019. That's when Zayas was formally charged. September 26th, pled not guilty. He was allowed to go. Then, October 9th, Zayas is arrested for robbery at a Buddhist study center near the University of Hawaii. And then February 2nd, Zayas is deemed unfit to stand trial and is committed to a Hawaii state hospital. I just think, at least he's in a hospital now. I understand bail reform. I'm actually a total advocate for bail reform, but at some point, you have to look at the evidence in front of you and say, maybe this guy needs to be either in jail or in a hospital. No need to send him back out.
Now, I guess he got re-picked back up for burglarizing a Buddhist temple.
That's what put him in the mental hospital officially, because they're like, he's too crazy for jail, but we got to do something, because obviously
do something with him because he can't.
Not, yeah.
But if you look up, according to the onesinglebullet.com, I don't know what else is on this website, but I definitely looked up he did a little bit, the person who runs this website does a little bit more of a deep dive into Ezekiel Zayas, and I don't know, man. It just sounds like he might have been, like, recruited. He might have been brought to Honolulu. We don't really know why or how. He did not have a record. The first arrest that he had was that he got, because he went missing in Bridgeport in August. So they were looking for him. His mom was looking for him. There was a missing persons out. When they found him in Honolulu, he received a criminal citation for smoking in a prohibited place.
That was the big problem?
On September 12th.
Not the pile of Duke that he was peeing on outside of a Chick-fil-A? It
didn't happen yet.
You can't smoke. You're going to have to put that cigarette out, sir.
I mean, that's the biggest crime. It fucking makes your show R-rated.
Yeah,
Do
that
you
is
even
true.
look at a cigarette?
Yeah, that is true. I was watching some old sports, and I do love all of the advertising for Marlboro. Marbs are everywhere in the 80s and early 90s. And I
miss when baseball players would smoke.
Yeah,
I miss seeing them smoke.
Yeah, yep. All right, well, that story, it's a bit of an older story, but I'm sure we will continue to hear more updates. And I think you're right. It probably should have gotten more attention, so I'm happy that this woman was able to use Reddit and explain her horror story, because that's got home invasion, psychotic person trying to kill your kids, trying to treat you like a pet because he thinks you have Down. That's a horror. That's a menagerie of horror.
So many insane twists and turns. But I mean, we'll get to the center of this. Obviously, Ezekiel Zayas is correct, and I really can't wait I don't know if my insurance is going to cover me being turned into an Ezekiel, but I really hope they can scrub some of my Down syndrome.
I think that would be absolutely wonderful as well, just for the company. One of us has to start learning math.
I have to figure out. I am going to be our new accountant, and we are going to do well. We certainly will not go to jail for that.
No way. No.
I mean, how many taxes, schmaxes?
Taxes.
And they love when you write that and you say that when you send that in on the forms.
Yeah, of course. Just send it with a picture of your pothole. In the Scott, don't even get me going on pothole. I will have a 60 Minutes Mickey Rooney moment. Andy Rooney, Mickey Rooney. I always get those confused.
It's all falling apart.
Is there anything better than a summer evening outdoors? Enjoy your space to the fullest with new greenery from Fast Growing Trees. I love a big, thick bush. Fast Growing Trees is America's largest, most trusted online nursery, and they can send me a big, thick bush any time of the day. It arrives at work. It arrives at my car. I can pinpoint on a Google map where it is. Send me a big, thick, brown bush. And they send it immediately when they have it, because sometimes the shaver comes to town. I remember one time I ordered a cherry wood tree from Fast Growing Trees. And my God, I couldn't cut it down, no matter what my father told me to do. I had to lie to him about it. And next thing you know, I became the first president of the United States of America. And even you can become the first president of the United States of America with Fast Growing Trees. Right now, get up to half off select summer planting essentials, plus get an additional 20% off your first purchase with code LEFT at checkout. That's an additional 20% off at fastgrowingtrees.com with code LEFT at checkout. Offer is valid for a limited time only. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, I know what you're thinking. I like to go banking, but I don't want to give to these big old banks all the time that cater to the 1%. Well, go ahead and get yourself hooked up with Chime. It's banking built for you, not just those rich jerks. And they got thousands of fee-free ATMs because why pay to get your own money? Chime is working for you, man. You get your Chime card, you're going to get travel perks, you're going to get into airport lounges, you're going to get those chicken thighs. You know, every time I go to an airport lounge, I get chicken thighs. And you know what I say whenever I see a plate of chicken thighs? Give me more. Chime's going to get you those chicken thighs in these lounges, all right? Sure, they could serve other types of meat, but why would you when chicken thighs are so delicious? Chime is not just smarter banking, it's the most rewarding way to bank. Join the millions who are already banking fee-free today. Head to chime.com/left. That's chime.com/left. It only takes a few minutes to sign up. Chime is a fintech, not a bank. Banking services for Chime Card provided by Chime's bank partners. Optional products and services may have fees or charges. Stated cashback for Chime Prime only. No minimum balance required. For more information on travel perks, go to chime.com/disclosures.
It's obvious we love true crime, but it does make us feel a little paranoid about what's out there, as it should. And that's why it's so important to get a home security system that gives you peace of mind. With SimpliSafe, you can stop crimes before they even start using their AI-powered cameras to identify threats on your property and alert US-based live agents to take action. Like arriving in a helicopter in the night, coming down from the helicopter, zipping down and breaking through the windows with their big axes, and going through the house, ripping through the walls, finding the criminals. It's easy to do. SimpliSafe has been a game changer for us. And the best part, there's no long-term contract. We've used it since the very early days of SimpliSafe here at LPN, and it keeps us safe, doesn't it? It keeps all of our thoughts inside the building. Then there's the ones we let out because they have to go out because that's a part of it. But SimpliSafe keeps the other thoughts safe. And for that, we say thank you, SimpliSafe. And we want you to experience the same peace of mind as we, which is why we've partnered with SimpliSafe to offer an exclusive discount to all of our listeners. Right now, you can get 50% off your new system by visiting simplisafe.com/LPOTL. That's half off at simplisafe.com/LPOTL. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Anyway, so should we do Hero of the Week?
Do it!
All right, this week's Hero of the Week, it's actually a country that has a lot of problems when it comes to civil rights and stuff like that. But I think the way they're handling the stay inside order for coronavirus is just a little bit more fun than the way that we're handling it.
I like this concept that they're doing.
So in Indonesia, there are, obviously they're trying to confront the virus and they're like, stay at home. And people are like, we don't want to stay at home. So in order to get people to stay at home, they are deploying, and this is true, quote, ghosts to scare people into staying inside.
So fucking good.
And if you
good.
You can find this on The Independent, Indonesia deploying ghosts to scare people into staying inside. And it's actually terrifying. They have pictures of the ghosts. By government standards, they actually nailed it.
Think about how much fun it would be to be a government employee that is essentially a spook house actor.
It's
your
so
job is
fun.
to go and just be like, so can I be a skeleton with a mace? They're like, love creativity, go out and do that. Here's your grant. And it's like, can I be the Violator from Spawn? It's like, you already got the hair, Mrs. Zabrowski. If I can go jump in there.
Yeah, it's the hair, not the body. That's what I say.
Hello. It is both. We know that it's both.
So apparently Indonesia has some of the highest rates of coronavirus deaths in Asia, just after China. So they're like, what the hell are we going to do? And this is what the government came up with. They say, quote, we wanted to be different and create a deterrent effect because Pokan are spooky and scary. I'm assuming that's their term for ghosts.
It's this creature, right? Whatever I'm looking at, you sent me this creature.
Yes.
Which is fucking scary looking. It looks like a fucking evil trash bag.
It looks like
fucking the death metal fucking makeup with corpse paint.
If the character, the nun, had a stepchild,
That's so fucking cool.
So this is what they were trying to do. So these, quote, shroud ghosts represent the souls of the dead. They jump out from the grave to warn people that the soul needs to be released from the shroud in which it is buried. Now, this is why they're doing this. Some people remain superstitious in Indonesia. It also won't come as too much of a surprise that others actually came outside to try to catch a glimpse of the volunteer actors. They're calling them actors, although they are ghosts. Let's be true here. Though one person did point out that the ghost should be careful not to spread the virus themselves, because as we all know, the virus doesn't discriminate.
No, it doesn't. And how fucking, oh my God, this ghost came to my fucking home trying to make us stay inside and got us all sick. It's like
No,
this
but apparently-
fucking, a man, like I'm one of those, like, what was it, child? What's the name of it? Remember that movie with the little monkey with the symbols?
Monkey
Shine. When that's
Yeah.
like ding, 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 ding.
Apparently,
it's coughing.
Apparently, it is working. This is according to resident Carno Supadomo. Anyway, they say, since the Pokon appeared, parents and children have not left their homes, and people will not gather or stay on the streets after evening prayers. So
That's fucking so good.
guess it is working. And I don't know. I mean, it's controversial hero of the week because I don't even know if it's a good thing, but Indonesia,
I think it's
your
good.
scare tactics are the hero of the week because I personally want to look out my, if we're going to live in an apocalyptic world as we are right now, which again, it will pass. But I want to look out the window and see a clown. I want to see a clown waving at me. I want to see it.
Hi. No, we're getting some of that. Ed and I were talking about, so yesterday, Ed saw a dude whipping in the street, which is fun for me. I got to go and join him. Also, Jackie's boyfriend, Jeff, has been doing the same thing.
No,
They've
what are
been
you
doing
talking
There's a lot of whip
I'm
work.
thinking in a car, like whipping shitties?
No, dude, with a whip.
With a whip. Okay.
And yesterday, I was doing my little quarantine walk to give Natalie just like fucking moments of peace. Just moments of break.
I can only
from just
imagine
me.
the horror that she's experiencing right
She's just always in the eye of the hurricane.
now. Oh, also, happy birthday, Miss Natalie Jane.
I love my wife.
Send her birthday love. Send her birthday wishes. She's on Instagram, on everything. You can always find her and say happy birthday.
She's just the freshest 21-year-old girl ever.
She's not. That's actually kind of rude if you would say. But
She's sexy. No, she's my sexy, beautiful wife.
Yes.
And what's nice when you're into MILFs like me, you only get raped.
MILFs without children, though. Apparently, you have a small. That's a caveat.
But I was walking down the street the other day, and a man in an ice cream hat. Things are dead out here, like dead.
Yeah.
Streets are empty. Guy was coming down the street, full yellow bicyclette outfit, like a little biker's outfit, like neon yellow, with an ice cream like salesman's hat on, and he was just going in a circle. He was going in a circle, zip and going around.
Okay.
I'm like, what he's doing? He sees me. He's got a mask on. He sees me. He gives me like, he gives me the eyes. He drives past and he goes, psychedelics, mushrooms, acid. And I was like, man, this is like fucking Bonnaroo.
That is kind of. Did you get something?
No. I technically have mushrooms.
That story turned into such a cool experience, though, man. This guy sees
was.
a market and he's driving to it.
Capitalism is still happening. He saw it. He saw an
Small
opportunity
business
to make a hustle.
ingenuity. That's
what it is.
amazing.
And honestly, and I loved it, but that was a good apocalypse outfit. I really appreciated it. And I'm going to start upping my own apocalypse outfits.
What are you
This
going
is
to
the
go
time.
with? What are you thinking?
I mean, mostly Eddie, number one that you said too. I need to start wearing my nice sneakers out, even if I'm just going to do it. So
I'm wearing my bronze today. I honestly, I realized sometimes you get bit by the depression bug, and then once you start smelling yourself.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
And it does sneak up.
It does.
It does sneak up because we live in a very noisy world, especially us as performers, right? And what we do in our normal lives. It's like, and we like nightlife, going out to bars, like living a public life. It is a very big and intense and fucking intrinsic part of our existence. Like specifically us, and I know many stripes of people in this country that are fucking extroverts.
Oh yeah.
And there is some damage that happens when the quiet comes in and the noise of our busy lives lead.
Henry,
and then
Henry, why is the quiet so loud though?
I don't like
does
the loud quiet. I don't like it either. But you forget all of this shit comes to the surface, and I was like, no. You get out of here, you funny little brain devils. But they keep coming.
Of
The
course.
brain devils come. But now but that's why I've been trying to come what it is, but it's truth. It's an uneasy relationship with the silence. I'm trying to let it, like my litany against fear, like Dune. Like I will not fear. Like let the silence pass over me. Know that my brain. I can hear my thoughts outside of my skull. You know what I mean? Like I can hear the thoughts coming out of my ears like they're Bluetooths.
Yeah.
Little speakers, which is bad. But I also, so
I mean, honestly, what I do
that's
is,
what happens.
If you ever watch one of those videos back in the day when we still had freedom, when people could ride motorcycles around a globe, and then inside the globe was also a bear.
Yep.
It's kind of like that. But it's just like zoom, 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 and it never stops. And then you're just putting on your own radio show in your own brain, and then you talk to someone after 18 hours, and then they're like, "Have you lost your mind?" And I'm like, "No, I've been getting entertained by myself." And then that,
but I didn't know. But I also didn't know I left my mouth speaker on as well.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem. Then the mouth speaker comes, and then now we have just so many fun ways of telling everybody all of our thoughts.
Acid. Get some acid.
Do
we have any interesting listener mail this week?
No, here it comes. I got a couple. They're not as juicy as I'd like them to be. I think it was a hard week for some people. So what I think I'm looking for funny ass stories and whatever is weird. So send us your shit, and also anything scary. You know we want the fucking spooks. We're gonna be having more and more of that. We're in the middle of a heavy hitter right now in last podcast and left, but we're going right back to weird shit. We'd already done the work on our heavy hitter before when all this hit. So now we're already. So you'll see. But join us.
I want
that's
weird
from
shit.
Spotify ad.
Weird shit is the best release right now.
Oh, here we go. This is another Army story. In the late 1950s, my dad joined the U.S. Navy. A Navy story. I don't want to get everybody fucking in arms.
You have a hatred for the Navy? Is that it?
I love the Navy. No, I am. My father's a Navyman. My father was a submariner. I'm built to be a Navyman. I'm the same height as my father. I'm built to be in the tube.
I was watching, I love that document. I watched a documentary on He-Man. For some reason, I'm finding these toy documentaries and history of the cartoons that we loved to be
Natalie
quite
loves
interesting.
them. Yeah.
But there was a He-Man character, which then became, I believe it became, I don't know, Wetman or something. But his first name was Seaman. And then the guy who created it was like, we couldn't stick with seaman. Apparently, it just caused a lot of questions. So I forget what they ended up calling him. But anyway.
Probably like fish fucker.
Yeah, something like that.
There we go. He was eventually assigned to a position as a radar operator. His name is Lee Harvey Oswald. And a Lockheed EC-121 Warning Star surveillance aircraft that flew patrols across the North Atlantic from Newfoundland to the Azores as a part of the U.S. military's early warning system against Soviet attacks. Next week, I will be doing more coverage about Tom DeLonge and the TTSA and his working with a thing called the NRO. Have you ever done any reading into the NRO, Kissel?
I'm just getting into the TTSA.
We'll talk about the NRO. The NRO is a government agency that only was acknowledged by the U.S. government fucking 15 years ago. And they are the group that coordinates all of the gigantic reconnaissance satellites that are all over the globe.
Was all that shit, was that something that came out with like all the Harry Reid revelations and stuff like that? Or is this is before that?
This is before that, but Tom DeLonge basically used whatever his money was. We'll get into it. But essentially, TTSA is a slush fund for him to essentially bilk UFO interested people to give him a bunch of money, and he has a board of directors that he could do anything he wanted with, and they went right to making television shows instead of investigating science. But it's a whole thing.
Okay, great. Can't wait to get into that next week. I know there's a lot of controversy within the community.
So, all right. So he was on one of these surveillance aircrafts. So one day they were going about their patrol as usual when the base called in wanting to know why they hadn't heard from the plane for the last 15 minutes or so. So think about this. One of the most high-tech pieces of technology in the sky just goes missing for 15 minutes. The crew was confused as they had been in constant contact per procedure and sent a response to that effect. Trying to figure out what happened, they compared the chronometer readings on the plane with those on the ground and found that the plane was 15 minutes behind. What? They couldn't figure out a reason for the discrepancy. No one on the plane had any sense of lost time or any memory of anything that might have happened during that time, and nothing unusual had been spotted in the air. After the crew landed, they were told by higher-ups not to mention the incident to anybody. Kind of feels has a little bit of the Philadelphia Project.
Yeah, I'm thinking it reminds me of like,
don't know.
Yeah, Contact, all those films.
Could have been just a general fuck up, but who knows?
Right.
Another story that may not be related, some years later, my dad sat for the civil service exam. At one point, he bumped into this guy he recognized, but who also recognized him. They knew each other's names, wives' names. It was like they were old friends, but they couldn't figure out how they knew each other. They compared notes, and it turned out they had lived, worked, or had been stationed in the same places several times, but none of the time frames overlapped. They'd always missed each other by at least a few months, so as far as either one of them could tell, they had never been in the same place at the same time. The conversation eventually came to an end, and they said their goodbyes and went their separate ways. He never did figure out where they'd met, and he eventually forgot the guy's name, and he never saw him again. So fucking just weird missing time. Who knows?
Yeah, very weird. Cool story. Thank you for that email.
This is a story I think that I'm just going to end it with this one because I just think that we could all find ourselves in this, especially because, people are feeling lonely.
Yeah.
So here we go. I was reminded of a story from a remark Henry made about cuckolds on a recent episode. My husband was a part of a pretty solid group of guys in high school that played a lot of D&D on the weekends. They had a friend that we will call Frank. He was borderline morbidly obese, so much so that he had a lot of health problems even as a teenager.
To be fair, you cannot be borderline morbidly obese.
You are.
You just are.
It's one or the other. It's one or the other. I am still obese.
Yeah, we all
It's
are.
weird.
Yeah.
We all are. Skip to the college years. My husband and his friends had to make food rules so that they could actually bring girls around, right, for Frank. So one of them was Frank was not allowed to eat chicken in front of anyone. Something about sucking the marrow out of every single one of the bones out of a whole chicken, like snapping the bones. That's bad. That's goon territory.
I mean, if you're obese, you also don't have to eat like you're fat bastard. You can also just eat with a knife and fork.
Well, that was part of my shame. That was part of the reason why, when my heaviest, when I was over 300 pounds, I didn't want to eat in front of anybody because I thought people were being like, "Look at him go." You know what I mean? Look at him go. You love to see it. So I don't know. See, she's like, so according to this writer, I've only witnessed it once, and it only reminded me of that guy, and I only seen him eat once, and it reminded me of the guy who exploded in that Monty Python sketch.
Love
right?
that.
So,
it's great
but
sketch.
it was not that terrifying. So, anyways, during one of their weekly Vampire the Masquerade sessions, Frank tells them about this woman that he's been seeing and having sex with. Right? He casually just kind of goes on to say that afterwards, she feeds him a whole roasted chicken and the best damn dumplings he's ever eaten with biscuits, gravy, and a big slice of apple pie. And then she just tells him to go home, and he goes home. She just calls him weekly. He comes over. They fuck. He eats and then leaves. Immediately, my husband and his 3 other friends were like, dude, that's super weird. All right, you might want to check out. I'm just going to say they maybe being videotaped. Frank understandably thinks, hey, he hit the jackpot. And he's like, fuck this. Yeah, sure. And he just continues the relationship for months. This must have been on his mind, though, because one day, finally, during the deed, he noticed the door was slightly cracked. Right? And afterwards, he flung the door open. Sure enough, not only was he being filmed,
oh my God,
but her husband was in there. Nude. And this is in the late 90s, right? This took place. So the camera was huge, right? It was one of those huge cameras. So I had a really hard time believing this, according to the writer. I had a really hard time believing any of this until I met Frank. And then it all came together. Because he told me that he ran out without his complimentary chicken menu, and they offered him money to come back.
Oh my God.
And he said, no, I'm not a sex worker.
Well, I mean, if you're Frank, if they would just... It's really the secretive nature of the whole thing that's the problem.
I would have taken the money. You're getting laid.
There's a lot of different things there. So who do you think had the fetish for the big man, the husband or the wife?
I think the husband. I think the husband had a thing for watching the whole thing play out, and the wife was... I don't know. Let's ask our audiences who've dealt with all of the rainbow of cuckold and power play relationships. Tell us, what is it?
What is it?
What is it? Who's getting what? Because I'm certain the wife gets something about making the meals. Obviously, she's good at it.
I mean, obviously, she must be enjoying the process.
It is a delight for everybody. It's kind of a victim. Frank is sort of a victim because of Frank. Obviously,
definitely
obviously he's a victim because he's being filmed against his will. But, in the end, you just kind of open parameters to what's cool for you.
Yeah, it's just too bad. I
If
hope
you want
can
to.
find. The nice thing is, you can find a good rotisserie chicken. They're not that difficult. You can go
And also,
Safeway.
you
has
can.
some.
You really can. And I've had some really good roast chickens in my time.
Yes.
You also can learn to make your own. It's not that difficult.
You
it
could
takes
do
a lot
that.
more butter. It takes a lot of butter more butter than you think it would.
Although I don't know, man, chicken and dumplings ain't nothing better than that.
I am made so viciously hungry just by the description of it that I'm being like, I guess if they really want to watch me fuck, so as long as they're not selling the tapes.
Well, that's the thing. You say late 90s, so I'm like, the internet was still...
Not really, but it was like university level.
Yes, it was like...
And maybe AOL.
They probably had to tangibly send those tapes. They would have to make copies of the tape and then tangibly send them.
You have to go to the post office with those fucking tapes.
Wow. Well, I have a lot of questions now. I'm assuming she was smaller. I don't know. Who knows? Well,
I don't know, but
hit us
please
back.
send us your feedback because send us your feedback.
Yeah.
But I also feel like I feel like people are really blowing overboard their things with like food, with food pet peeves. I think people go overboard with them. I think it comes down to it being like, man, just let him live his life. Yeah, he eats chicken like that. And sometimes some women will look at a guy sucking up on a fucking roasted chicken, and if you replace that chicken with your pussy, that's going to be the best time you've ever had with your life.
I've only been in front of one person who I had to audibly tell not to eat. We all know who he is.
Yes, well, that's different. That was different because that was the worst thing I've ever seen. That was one of the worst eating people. Why can't we mention him? You'd know him. But he's fucking one of the worst single eaters, and it's not who you think. I'm going to go out and say you right now, eliminate Ed Larson.
Oh,
Ed Larson is actually a very
Eddie's a
calm and
primo
normal eater.
Yes,
he's
Eddie's
a
a
normal
great
eater.
eater.
But there's some people on this network, they even go even farther. There's some people on this network are one of the worst fucking eaters I've ever sat across from ever. And yes, he's not allowed to eat in front of me ever again. But only because of his use of ketchup.
It is.
He is the one that literally
It's the
slathered
sound.
a whole...
Honestly, it's
he's
the sound.
changed now.
It's the sound for me. It's just a lot.
He changed considerably, but he used to cover his food in a mound of ketchup, and then just eat the ketchup first.
It's what kids who grew up super spoiled do. Which more ketchup, more ketchup, ketchup. And it's just like it's pizza. You don't even need ketchup. Actually, it's disgusting to have pizza.
All over it, literally all over it. All of the cremes, the white cream, the hot sauce. He would pile it on top of it and then just eat solid condiment scoops. I'm sorry, I've already broken what I was saying about food pet peeves. I've already done it.
Anyway, thank you all so much for your emails. sidestorylpotl@gmail.com. Keep them coming.
We're getting through this shit. We're getting through this shit. Live each life, Dad, man. You gotta live, bro. We got a lot of stuff. We gotta to watch the book. Oh, our live show from last year is coming out today. Patreon first. You get a chance to download it. Watch it in your home. Some new fucking quarantinium fucking content for your fucking asses. I hope you enjoy it. Friday goes wide release. We're going to bump it again. Last podcast left. But you can come see what our live show is like. You can come see. And so for whenever the fuck it is we get to go on tour again, whenever this fucking invisible enemy allows us to leave our homes again, we will be able to come see. You can see what you're in for.
Go to lastpodcastlive.com and you can get our live show available everywhere on Friday.
We're out on Friday. I also forgot to cover the Rebecca Black JFK thing. There's a whole Rebecca Black JFK thing. We're going to come back to JFK.
Oh my
at some
goodness,
point.
please do. I'm a huge Rebecca Black fan. I think Friday, I actually have listened to Friday. And there's something about it that she got it. She
I remember when
hooks.
you went through that phase, and I remember when you went through your Wrecking Ball phase, when you were obsessed with the song Wrecking Ball.
Well, Miley's an unbelievable performer, and I'm so team Miley. It's ridiculous.
I love it, and I'll watch her pee. I'll watch her sing.
I would do both of those things as well. I don't see if you are a grown man. For me, T Swift is off. You can't. It's just
That's
weird
for children.
That's for children. But Miley. She adult.
Miley is just a good singer. Miley is
a
a good singer. If you are a fan of Taylor Swift, and this is pointed right at Holden McNeely, you look like an undercover police officer. If you're an older man going there, so that you either look like an undercover police officer, or you're trying to marry Kay Letourneau yourself a new wife. But again, I guess I support him, though. I guess I have to support him.
Of course.
All right, so, hey, remember, live every day, man. This time period ain't going to be fucking deleted, dude. You are living every day. These days are happening. So remember, you got to live your life for the person you're going to be for when the quarantine's over. So think about that person.
That's good.
Is that person going to want to wear some jeans? Is that person going to want to do fucking bullshit? Because there's a lot of stuff we're going to have to go through. Because I would say love this time period a little bit.
Okay.
Because even though we are stuck at homes and it is entirely boring and it's also mentally very taxing to keep fucking the water discipline of keeping our fucking hands clean at all times, you got to love this time period because when work comes back, this is from Bill Burr. Bill Burr said this, and I thought it was very interesting. Remember how much work is going to suck when he comes back.
That's a good point.
When the floodgates open up, it's going to be very fucking difficult.
That's true. There'll be a lot of work to do.
There's going to be a lot of work to do. So maybe one nice thing about the slow down time, because it's a quiet time for a lot of people. So it's going to try to fucking find some kind of peace. Grow a plant. I don't know if that helps, but I don't know what else to do.
You sound like you're becoming an alternative Jack Nicholson.
Yo, number one. Oh, my number one guy. And you got to laugh. Because if you're not laughing, you're just going to be screaming at a bunch of people in the fucking street. But only scream at people in the street if it keeps them inside their homes.
That's like that. All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed this in your ear tubes. And we shall always talk to you soon. We'll be here for you at the Last Podcast Network. Hail yourselves!
Until the fucking world explodes. Hail Satan.
Magustalations, everybody.
Hail me, fuckers.
Indeed. Also, if there's anyone that invaded your home, I would say get them out. Get rid of them, I guess.
I say now's the time to get rid of them, but unfortunately, if they've come in from the outside, now it is your responsibility to clean them, and now they are your roommate.
Maybe you could bring like when Puffin poops in the I don't do this to Puffin, but if a dog poops in the house, my dad used to bring their nose to their poo-poo and be like, don't poop in the house. Maybe you could do that to a person, but then it might also just give them a fetish.
I don't want to touch anybody.
That's a good point.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.
You wouldn't take financial advice from a 72 hours in a single day alpha influencer, would you? Same goes if you're in a car accident or any accident. Who you choose matters. That's why Morgan & Morgan exists. They're the largest injury law firm in America, and they've built a reputation by actually winning cases, not just talking about it. Over 1,000 lawyers across all 50 states and $30 billion recovered. Injured? Go to forthepeople.com/podcast. That's forthepeople.com/podcast.
Hi, listeners. Marcus Ed and Henry here. It's a little bit of an announcement.
You loving all the episodes of Last Podcasts on the Left lately? Well, listen, now you can get even more from us.
Squeeze it out of us. If you want to hear new episodes ad-free and unlock access to Last Podcast on the Left 7 days early, subscribe to SiriusXM Podcast Plus on Apple Podcasts or visit SiriusXM.com/Podcast Plus to start your free trial today. Do it.